answer things that happened in the 18th century. You have? What? Any significant things, significant invention, significant something in science? Yes, come on, yes. Because my research, I didn't do much research in science. What was it? Come on. What?
The steam engine.
Steam engines, okay. So, because of the steam engines, and so what happened? What was it used for? And so what happened to the mode of transportation or whatever?
From what I know, they used it for trains. So they used the steam engine for trains to travel around and for factories as well. I believe mass production was big during that time because industrial revolution was close to that year, right?
Yes, very good. No, that was when I was an industrial revolution. Right? We had the French Revolution, there's also the Industrial Revolution. Do we still have steam engines now with our trains? Yes, no. Some. Do we have steam engines here in the Philippines? No. Is it good for the environment? No. Why? How come it's not good for the environment? The steam, So we can't have steam engines anymore that is environment friendly. Can we have? Yes? No? I live. Think about it. Okay. Well, that was also since there were trains. That was the time that we had what we call concert pianists. So when you say concert pianist, it's actually a term. Nowadays, when you say concert pianist, a concert pianist should have his or her own CD. A concert pianist should have played with an orchestra. A concert pianist. So during that time, it was simple. A concert pianist would tour around Europe. Okay, so Mozart, well, Austria, Vienna, or Salzburg. Austria is kind of in the middle of Europe, so you can go anywhere in Europe. Now you can go to Paris, you can go to just by traveling by train. In fact, some people still do that. They travel. When I played in Europe in 2010, well, I played in Scandinavia, but I visited a friend in Vienna, and then he's an opera singer, and he had to go somewhere, I forgot the name of the place, but we took a train. And then when I went from, I think from Belgium, from Brussels to Paris, we also took the train. But just like here in the Philippines, I experienced the same experience with the MRT. Who takes the MRT here? Oh, probably none of you, but I do, no? And in Paris, in France, it's just like the Philippines. They also like to have a lot of demonstration. The trains would suddenly stop if there is so I experienced that. We were in Paris and then the train stopped. So what we had to do, we had to walk. So it's the same thing. It's not because it's Europe. It happens in all parts of the world, no? And so the concert pianist idea, just like Mozart, that's just like Chopin. But because of the French Revolution, it became an inspiration to other countries. Hence, in the 19th century, we call it the Romantic period. Why do we call it romantic? Not just because it's about love, but it's also because of its humanistic. It is very human. It's very natural, no? And these countries like Chopin was inspired, and he composed music for his motherland, Poland. He's from Poland. He's a Polish composer. Liszt was a Hungarian. Remember, during this time of Mozart, Austria, it was the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So the Austrians were, the Hungarians were actually under the Austrian rule, but they wanted their own freedom. So there's Hungary, and then Grieg, of course, a romantic composer for Norway. Okay, but since we're exploring French music, the composer I wanted to play today for romantic period is Fauré, Gabriel Fauré. Okay, and I'm going to play a nocturne by Fauré. A nocturne means it's a night piece. So you are all allowed to close your eyes if you want to close your eyes.
Yeah.
And well, if you fall asleep, then probably I'm successful with this music, because it's supposed to be that's the purpose of a nocturne. It is a nocturne in E flat major. Gabriel Fauré, you can see it in your program. And just like classical music, just like the classical period, I mean, the melody can still be heard, the right hand, and then you have the accompaniment. But this time, there is more what you call, in your generation, they would call it reverb, right? You've heard of the term reverb, no? It's like you can really hear a little bit of the echo. So just like the piano, we have it like this so that there's a little bit of echo of the sound. So this is a Fauré's Nocturne in E flat.